Screen name is Buck. I've got one it looks like from Jimmy Crackers. One from Jimmy Crackers, one from Streamer, and one from Bitey. I don't think I have yours, Buck. So you'll need to resend it to my email. Make sure you get the email right. The command in Nightbot is review to check my email. pulse.tv.au@gmail.com. Chair nipples. No, you can't get banned. There's no chair nipples. Yeah, so this is a game from Streamer. Maybe he wanted to be anonymous. Sorry, didn't say anything in your email if you did. But yeah, it's a 3 rebuy. Wait, yeah, this is a 3 rebuy. So I'm gonna eat my food while I review this. Just got some pasta. And then after I finish the reviews, we'll play a bit more for the afternoon session. Just gonna mute the mic while I eat because you guys don't want to hear that shit. I just turned the music down a bit, so I forgot I turned it up from the PokerStars video. Fuck JR. I didn't get your game, dude. You need to resend it. Question, my game really drops off when I'm multi-table. Is it worth playing them one table at a time? Condor, you just need practice. So start with one table, then try 2. Once you feel comfortable with 2, try 3 or 4. Then it just takes a lot of practice to get good at multi-tabling. Just like anything else in poker. You can't go from like 2 tabling to 8. It's too big of a jump. You have to go up in little steps. Keep practicing. Oh yeah, check out in my YouTube. Now I've got this extra bit in my YouTube command where it puts the last video that was uploaded. It's pretty sweet, right? Some say that if you skip the dots in Gmail, it still delivers the mail. I haven't tested that, Bambala. Alright, let's just do a few hands. From our hero, this is a 3 rebuy. We're pretty deep. Lines are getting high. So I'm assuming we're close to the final table. We'll try and find where the final table is. Is this the final table? Okay, it looks like the final table. Yeah, so we're on a 3 rebuy final table. I'm not going to review the whole thing because it'll take too long. And I want to be fair to everyone and make sure that everyone gets a chance to have some feedback. So this will be mainly just a final table review of the 3 rebuy. it come from a can? No, man, it was from a bag. It's gourmet pasta. You get it at the supermarket in the cold section. And I've got nice sauce to go with it. It's beautiful. It's not SpaghettiOs, man. Dude, my email's up here in the chat. In the review command. It's right here. And that's it. Thanks, Steve. I want to hear you chew. Please, no. So unfortunately, I don't have many reads on how the table's playing, so we'll just review with a fairly standard kind of strategy. So this is a good all-in because effective stacks, I know we have 115,000, which is like 17 big blinds. Effective stacks are only around 100, so that's around 13. And with 13 big blinds, I definitely love shoving the Jack 10 suited rather than raising, because you just want to put maximum fold equity on your opponents when there's some shorter stacks around. It's the final table. You know, they're not going to want to call too loose. So, and if you do get called, Jack 10 suited does play fairly well against even a strong range like Ace King, Ace Queen. You can have live cards. So I like the all-in. It's definitely going to win you a lot of money. Snap call. So this is a very short stack of 5 big blinds. You can call any ace, any pair, any Broadway, any high suited king. Probably, actually, you can call any suited king here, I would say. A lot of hands, basically, especially if he's a loose player. If he's a tight player, you can probably justify folding some of the weak kings and the weak queens and only call with like Broadways or Queen 9 suited hands like that. But most people will be shoving here a very, very loose range. Did I send an IMAT in the right format? Jay Lawrence. I'll check. Yep, perfect. This is what I need. That's what you want, guys. Text file with the hands inside it like this. That's correct. Thanks, Jay Lawrence. Huh. I wouldn't trust 8-ball today. The first thing I did on stream was 8-ball. Will I make 2k bankroll today? And it said, yes, you will. Or maybe we'll go on some sick heater in the afternoon. Okay, nice call, bad luck. I'll have to unsub and not come back if you pass with a can. You don't have to worry about that, Gen Khan. I don't eat very much food out of a can. I'm sorry, Stalpan. Twitch ruined my life. Enjoy your pasta. Okay, 8s. Ooh. Final table, so there is some ICM, but there's so much money out there. Look at how much money there is. 66,000. I think with all the dead money, I would go for this. There's so much dead money. Like, this guy's range is, I'd say, weak because he's just calling. This guy's range is way weaker because he's overcalling. And this guy has the big stack, so his range is very loose. So, in my opinion, you have 3 loose ranges with 8s, which is probably the best hand, with fold equity, and even if you get called, you're getting great overlay, like a really good price against 2 overcards. So if someone somehow has like Ace King, It sucks, but you're still getting a very good price on a flip. And if you can get them all to fold, it's just so good. So good. I mean, yeah, your stack is like nice, you're not the shortest, but everyone else has a very similar stack to you. So I feel like this is a perfect spot for our hero to basically double up without a showdown. And if he does get call, he can still win with the best hand. So I'd push it. I'd definitely push. I'd actually think about pushing 7s as well, maybe even 6s, given that these ranges are all, I think, fairly loose, and you have a lot of fold equity with 80,000 chips. This is a good all-in with 10 big blinds effective in the cutoff. Any ace is a push. Well done. See you later, Mr. Douglas Souza. Have a good sleep. Contemplating going to the shop 20 miles away just for crisps. That's dedication, Sunny Banksy. Gotta have heart to do that. Okay, got lucky. That's fine. Well played. I would just fold this one. The small blind's all in. If you raise, you go into showdown, so they're going to know that you're raising loose. You're also raising into the chip leader, which is not very good, because he might try and put pressure on you in 3-bet. Yeah, like if you raise, you're committed against this guy, which also isn't very good. You're probably committed against this guy as well, face ace with 60,000, so definitely just a fold. Fold that queen 9. Yep, great all in on the button against 2 short stacks. Queen 9's a really good shove here. I'll be pushing a lot of hands. I'd say around 40-50% minimum. If they're tight players, you can push wider than that, like 75. You can actually justify pushing any 2 cards if they're tight enough. But I think that's a bit too much against most opponents. But I'd rather you push any 2 cards here than be too tight, so... But I wouldn't push any 2 cards. I'd push like 50, 60, 70% around there. I finished my food, so I'll just be right back, take the plate out. First reg open, 2 other reg flat calls. Yeah, it does make it worse for you, streamer. You're not worried about the second reg. The second reg never has anything. The first reg you're worried about. with the eights. Okay, so this is the guy you're worried about. This guy never has anything. You know, if he has aces, I don't think he wants to risk like more calls or seeing a flop. It's possible, I guess, that he could do this with aces and kings as a trap. Yeah, if Jenny Penny is a reg, I'm a little worried, but I still would probably shove unless I have a very good read. Because Jenny Penny might just have ace jack. Very possible. Could have, you know, king queen suited. It's hard to say. So I would just not be. I wouldn't be such a nit with so much money in the middle. I need a very good read to be able to fold this. But maybe you're confident in your reads. That's fine. Where were we? Alright, food is over. Time to do some speed reviews and then we'll get back to the games. But you're right, streamer. If this guy's a reg, I'm way more likely to fold in that 8 spot because the regs just don't have a wide enough range calling with that spot. But like, I'd need a big sample size on the guy. I need to know that he was tight, and let's say that it's a reg and you have 100 hands and that's it. I just shove because maybe he's a bad reg. You never know. So I need a very good read to fold in that spot. It's just so juicy with 60,000 chips out there. Alrighty, this one, it's marginal because of stack sizes. It's really marginal because of stack sizes. If you shove, like, raise calling threes is horrendous, and you have to raise fold against both these guys, I think. You also got the chip leader in the big blind who might put pressure on you by reshoving. So I would not hate just open folding this because of ICM and considerations like the chip leader might abuse you here, and you know, you don't have to raise this with no blockers. Shoving might be better than winning, you know. Shoving might be better. I'd have to run the math, but I'm not going to. Because it's fairly simple. You just put this in ISIM calculation with the payout, and if threes is plus EV to shove, I would just shove. Because I think raising opens you up to, one, getting exploited by the big stack who can just reshove a wide range and you have to fold, and two, you don't really want to raise call a short stack who decides to go all in here with like king 9 or queen 10 suited. But if you shove, they're not going to call those hands. So yeah, it's just not a very good spot with threes. If you want a min raise still, go with ace 2 offsuit. At least then you have one blocker, and you're more comfortable folding because going all in in the cutoff with 17 big blinds with ace 2 off is not plus EV. Alright, yep, easy all in. Any 2 cards. Nice walk. This is fine. I think you can shove if they're tight players though. So maybe you have a read that the big blind's a looser player. It's hard to say because we don't have the full context of this game. No stats, we're just playing off standard plays. We're not getting any hands, not much to do. Junk, 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 junk. Yeah, I just go all in. I think it's the only play. It looks the weakest. You can't flat call because you have to play out of position with queens. It's a little bit vulnerable. Ace high, king high flops. This guy's committed anyway. Putting a third of his chips in, just get it in pre-flop. Good, well done. Green for Jenny Penny. So this guy's a reg, eh? This guy's the reg? Okay. We know that he's not a good reg, if he is a reg. So that 8's push would have been very plus EV against Jenny Penny. But maybe you didn't know that at the time. But now we have that read. The guy is fucking terrible. What was that, King 10? It's fairly close, but I do like the fold. He's pushing into another short stack, so he probably has a decent hand here. I think with King Jack, I would think about just jamming. Because it's only 6 big blinds. Pretty short. If only the big blind was a bit deeper. Four-handed, I think we can fold, but you are one of the chip leaders, so you should be opening up a little bit. Any two, yep. Nice. Alright, the big blind only has like 8 big blinds, so have to play tight on the button. I love the raise. If he's an unknown and he's relatively tight, I love the raise. If he's a regular or a loose player, I would probably just fold or limp stab, because a regular or a loose player might play back at you in this spot and 3-bet or call and play flops, and this hand is terrible if you do see a flop. So you're trying to just win it pre-flop if you can, and that will work against tight players, so yeah. Alright, I think we'll turn our pair into a bluff and just bet. Trying to get him to fold equity. Hands like, just anything that has some kind of equity. You just want him to fold. Your hand is very hard to play by check calling because there's a lot of bad turn cards. 8, 7, 9, 10, spades, they're all bad. Even like an ace or a king isn't that great either. So you just have to bet, turn it into a bluff. Hope he has nothing. If he calls, you can still check down and sometimes win, because he might call with a 5 and then just check it down. So I would not barrel, especially when we're on a little mini bubble 3-handed. Just give him some credit. I really wouldn't barrel this. Like, the way you're playing this hand, you're contradicting yourself, because pre-flop, the only way that this is good is if he's a tight player. If he's a tight player, you can still justify c-betting because a tight player is just going to fold ace high, or he's just going to fold, you know, king jack. So you can justify c-betting against tight players. Against a tight player, if he's going call, you're always behind. So just give up. If you're doing this and you're trying to barrel him off a weak hand, your read is that he's a loose player, which means pre-flop was a mistake. So one of these is wrong. Either pre-flop or this bet, one of them's bad, depending on your read. If he's tight, this is bad. If he's loose, pre-flop is bad. But the barrel does work here. Maybe he had a loose range, so you had some kind of read. It worked out for you. But I really don't like the barrel there. You also have no backdoor equity, so you're just praying that he folds. Yeah, this is standard. Good night, Steve. Have a good one. This one, Marcin is a $3 rebuy tournament, 180 man sit and go. So it's around $550 for first place usually. Yeah, the range command, it's I have to put them in manually. So I've got like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70. Yeah, that's it. And 1, 2, 3, and 69. If you want to put them in. Yeah, you're pretty handcuffed now because you're out of position against the chip leader. You need to have a hand. Yeah, definitely would not be doing this with 3-6. I know it might be a game flow raise because you folded last small blind, but last time he did this, he called 2 streets, or he called 1 street and folded the turn. It's a better spot for him to call here because he has you covered and he can put pressure on you. Just fold, dude. It's not worth it. This is much better. Like, you can just shove here. I think shoving's probably the best play. It's definitely plus EV for 16 big blinds. And if you do anything else, I'm really afraid of this guy exploiting you, like shoving pre-flop or calling and then just not folding, or calling and bluff raising, and you're just going to be in terrible, terrible post-flop spots if you min raise. So I would just jam it all in when the blinds are this high. Like, if he floats here, you're fucked, you know? So I think it's working out for you playing small pots, because this guy doesn't seem to be playing back correctly. So maybe you're using your read against him, but in general I would just shove. But you could be playing this perfectly, streamer, because of your reads. So I'm not saying that what you're doing is bad, I'm just saying you need good reads to be able to do this. Maybe you have those good reads in this game, that's why you're doing it. But in general, realize that you know, the advice I'm giving you is more the standard thing, I think, so that you don't make mistakes. But if you see a way to get better value from your opponents because you perceive weakness, then this can be way better. So I can't really say that you're wrong. I'm just kind of giving you the best advice I can. Great raise call. Well done. This is also call. Nice. Bad luck. Well, I'd probably just limp this because I don't want to raise call king 10 for this many big blinds. But whatever, like raising's fine. You just, if he shoves on you, you pretty much have to call for this stack, which is ugly. I like the bet because we got backdoors. If we had no backdoors, I would just give up. But with the backdoors, you can barrel a lot of turn cards, which is good because when he calls you with a weak pair, you can just bet him off on the turn. Limp, please no. Big mistake here. Heads up, button. Play 100%, right? Until the guy has proven to you that he's being aggressive, play 100% of buttons. 7-8, even against a regular you play this. This is like a monster hand, heads up. So limp. Limp, 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 limp. You can raise king 2, turn it into a bluff. Like, you don't want to really limp these high card, low card hands heads up because they don't play very well. You'd rather just bluff them and min raise. Jam, nice. Limp, big mistake again. Just, you have a jack, heads up. This is, you know, you're actually a favorite against this range normally. Okay, it's like 52% this hand, but it's close to a 50% hand. So just raise, limp, play some pokers. And this one, raise, limp, play some pokers. I'd probably just shove with the weak kicker for 15 big blinds because you raise calling the ace 2 is not good and you want to just get him to fold, you know, if you can. You're obviously not going to get him to fold a better hand, but you can get him to fold hands that will call you and flop enough equity to make your life hell. So he might call here with jack 10 and then just check raise all in with any pair, any draw, and you're just kind of spewing away your pre-flop advantage here with your hand. So just jam it in. I'd consider calling against a really bad player, but I think fold is the more standard play. Limp again, jack 7. Interesting that you decide to bluff raise here, because out of all those hands that you folded, I would be okay if you folded this one, but yeah, I know this is probably just a game flow raise. But yeah, you need to play 100% of buttons. Limp, raise. Either is good. I'd probably just call against this guy because he seems fairly tight. Against a more aggressive player, aggressive regular who's raising a lot of buttons, you can reshove all in. But against this guy, we'll just call. Just check fold, terrible board. Okay, I probably prefer a limp in this spot in this particular game because you've been min raising a lot and he is going to start adjusting. So with the bottom of your range, just limp. I would call. He's got enough chips now that you can call 7-6 properly, I think. This is fine to raise call. Better than the king 10. Slightly. I'd probably just shove for this stack size. Again, like raise calling 5s, you're not going to get much value. And you'd rather him fold equity. Right? Same as before. 5s is just going to be a shove for 15 big blinds. Oh man, did the blinds go up? Alright, the blinds are up, you got to call for 10 big blinds. That's, yeah, standard. Yeah, that's a call also for 7. Yeah, you made some mistakes, heads up. Stream outfit. Apart from that, you play good. Alright, who was next? It was